Hi friends, it's Miss Malia here at the Ross Garden for another wonderful lesson. Today's kind of chilly out here. Is it chilly where you are today? I hope you're nice and cozy and warm. All right, let's get our seeds out and we'll get started. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Plant the little seed in the dark, dark ground. Out comes the yellow sun, big and round. Down comes the cool rain, soft and slow. Up come the little plants, grow, grow, grow. Nice job. Well, today we're going to be talking about herbal salve. You ever heard that word before? Salve? Well, in our last lesson, we definitely heard the word herb. Here we go. Herb or herbal. And last time we showed you some of the herbs that we have here in our garden. A couple examples are this lemon balm. See that right there? Lemon balm. This one still looks pretty happy even though it's pretty cold out here. So here's some lemon balm. What do you think that might smell like? What fragrance do you think it has? Lemon balm. Smells to me like lemons. Another herb that's still growing in our garden right now, even though it's chilly, we have some lavender. You see the lavender? Woo, it's a tall one. Smells really good. So remember, friends, that an herb, oh, it's got that tricky H in there. Do you see that? Some people in some places pronounce it herb. Some people pronounce it herb. So our herbs are plants that we use for cooking. We use them to flavor things. We use them for their fragrance, for their smell. We use them for medicinal purposes, making different types of medicines. Lots of different things that we can do with herbs. Today we're talking about making an herb salve. What is a salve? Have you ever heard that before? Now, a salve is a kind of ointment that you can use for, it has some really nice healing properties. It helps keep your skin moisturized in the winter, any time of year really, but it's really nice when it's so dry out in the winter to keep your skin nice and moist and soft. And so salve is a good way to do it. Kind of like a lotion, really. All right, so we have our herb salve. Now, how in the world are we gonna make an herb salve, an herb moisturizer, a protectant for our skin in this cold winter time? Well, we need to do lots of different things, and later in our lesson, Miss Kim is gonna show you exactly how to make it. Right now, we're gonna talk through a few things that you'll need to make that salve. So, just like in our tea lesson, do you remember when we took the dried herbs? Now, when the herbs are dry, they look a little bit different. When they're nice and fresh, remember they look kind of like this with our lemon balm, our lavender. When they're dried, they look different. Here's the lavender. And here is the lemon balm when it's dry. See that? So they're nice and dried. So we'll need some herbs, and like the tea, you can do an infusion. Do you remember what that is? Infusion. Well, an infusion is made when you soak different types of plants or plant material. You can soak some of the dried herbs into water or oil. For the tea, we soaked it in water, and then we could drink it. All right, so we'll need an infusion for the herbs. And then we do, let's see, what else do we use for a salve? We use beeswax. Have you ever seen beeswax before or know what it is? Let's spell it out. B. Bees wax. All right, Well, beeswax is something that the bees secrete or produce from their bodies to help make their honeycomb. And the honeycomb is where the honey is. Yum. All right, what else do we need to do? Well, with that beeswax, the beeswax is in a solid form. Solid state. What does solid mean? Well, that's pretty solid. That's pretty solid. All right. Well, solid is simply a state of being, a state where it is. How do you describe solid? That's tough for me to describe. Well, it means something that is firm and stable. All right. So, like this board. Okay. Now, when you melt a solid into a liquid, what's a liquid? Well, this nice herbal tea I'm drinking right now is liquid. If it was solid, I couldn't drink it. So liquid is a flowing form, like water or oil. Okay, friends, so what else might we need to make this salve? We've got some herbs. We're going to melt some beeswax, turn it from a solid into a liquid. How do you melt something? Do you know? Well, for this lesson, we are going to put it in a double boiler. What is that? Well, a double boiler is simply a pan like this. You may have a pot like this at home, but then it has this bowl that goes inside. And what you'll do is you use a double boiler by putting water in the bottom. That water will heat up. The beeswax will go in here where it can get nice and warm evenly without being too close to the heat. And then we'll melt it from a solid into a liquid. All right. All right, so what are things that you might know already about a herbal salve or moisturizer? What are some things you might want to learn today through our garden lesson? I can't wait to see how it's actually made. I'm excited to see Miss Kim show us how that works, how we put all of these things together and turn them into a hand salve, an herbal salve that we can use to moisturize or protect our skin. All right, see you soon. Hi garden friends, today we are reading The Flight of the Honeybee. You ready? Get nice and comfy, put your listening ears on, and let's read. Flight of the Honeybee. The honeybee is one of the smallest creatures in the world, but it may be the most important for life on Earth. It is the planet's greatest pollinator, moving pollen from one plant to another, causing flowers to produce seeds and fruits. Honeybees can live in the wild or in boxes made by beekeepers. A honeybee can't live alone. It's part of a family that works closely together. A bee is always changing jobs. First, she is a cleaner, then a babysitter, a builder, a guard, a scout, and finally, a harvester. This is the story of a scout. There she is. A bee the size of a cherry pit crawls from her hive. Her stripes glow golden in the morning sun. Scout has spent her whole life in the crowded hive. Now it's time for her to fly out and explore the world. Time to search for flowers from which to collect pollen and nectar for food. Her sister bees are inside, making honey. But will there be enough? The cold is coming, and Scout must find the last flowers of the fall. These are the hives right here. There are about 50,000 female bees in a hive, and very few males. Females are the girls, and males are the boys. Scout's wings hum to life, so fast that they are almost invisible, lifting her into the wide sky. She rises in a spiral up and away from the hive. Scout remembers what she passes as she flies, so later she can return home. She knows the sun will guide her too. Bees navigate, which means they find their way, using sunlight, landmarks, and smell. They also have a magnetic sense that is like a built-in compass. A compass is a tool that you can use to find your way or to navigate. Scout flies swift and straight as an arrow. The wind buffets her, ruffling the fine hairs on her face, but she keeps on steadily and rides out the rapids. Eyes as black as polished stones are searching, seeking a splash of color below. An arresting smell drifts on the breeze. Scout locks onto this scent. She flies over a clearing, and spread before her is a marvelous meadow, an ocean of flowers. Bees are furry, even their eyeballs. Are your eyeballs furry? The hairs help them sense changes in the wind. Bees have a powerful sense of smell. They use their antennae to pick up scents. Bees can smell in stereo, each antenna smelling in a different direction. Let's see. A flash of feathers. A hungry blackbird swoops for the kill, but Scout zips down and escapes into the trees, weaving behind tangled wing twigs. Many creatures eat honeybees, including other insects such as wasps and dragonflies, as well as spiders, frogs, birds, and mammals such as bears and badgers. When the coast is clear, Scout is drawn to the sea of flowers again. She settles on a velvety petal and plunges her head into the flower. Here is sunken treasure, a cup of sweet nectar. The tip of her tongue, shaped like a miniature spoon, sips the syrup. Scout zigs and zags from flower to flower, spreading pollen around. The pollen clings to her fuzzy body, a sprinkle of sun powder. Bees are charged with static electricity during flight, which attracts pollen to their bodies. They have an extra stomach in which they can carry nectar home. They have an extra stomach. Scout has finished drinking. She must tell her sister bees about this field of blue. But a thundercloud cloaks the sun. All at once the cloud bursts. Rain batters Scout to the ground. She crawls under a leaf as hailstone bombs explode around her. Bees avoid rain and storms. Raindrops can damage them and chill their wing muscles, leaving them grounded. Wasps invade beehives to steal honey and eat baby bees. Yikes! Do you know that? The downpour passes. Scout picks up the scent of her hive and follows it. Outside the hive, there's a squad of guard bees. A yellow-jacketed enemy is attacking. Scout knows that twitchy way of flying. It's a wasp. The wasp grabs Scout as she glides into land. It raises its stinger, but the guards move in, wrestling the wasp with their legs. Honeybees sting only to defend themselves. They will die after stinging larger animals. So there's the wasp, and here are the honeybees. Here are the guards coming to help her. Scout is safe inside the hive at last. She begins a dance on the wax comb. An audience gathers, captivated by the floral scent on Scout's body. Scout spins a story in dance, every movement a sentence. Scout waggles, twists, and turns, describing the route to the blue meadow. She pauses only to share samples of sweet nectar. Scout repeats her dance for many sister bees. The bees' dance is a complex language that can communicate millions of different messages. So she's letting them know through her dance moves where the flowers are. I would love to see your bee dance moves. Bzzz. Now that the sister bees know where to find the meadow, hundreds of bees take off. They flick from the hive like golden pebbles. Bees need to harvest nectar from more than 2 million flowers to make enough honey to fill just one jar. 2 million flowers to fill one jar of honey. They are really hard workers. Back in the hive, Scout passes her precious nectar to the house bees. They put it in the comb and fan it with their wings. The nectar will be transformed into liquid gold, honey for the bees to eat. Nectar is mostly water until the bees dry and thicken it by beating their wings, converting it to honey. So this is the honeycomb. Remember where we talked about where beeswax comes from? Beeswax is something that the bees make to create this honeycomb, kind of like little egg cartons almost, where they put and keep the honey. Scout visits the nursery where babysitter bees pluck the pollen from her body and mix it with honey to feed the babies. The queen can lay thousands of eggs a day. It is the job of the few male bees, the boy bees, in the hive to fertilize a new queen. Nearby sits the queen, long and lustrous. She is mother of all the bees, laying eggs that look like tiny grains of rice. Exhausted after her mission, Scout rests her silvery wings for a spell. Soon she will join her sister bees in the blue meadow for the fall harvest. With enough honey, her family can now survive the winter. Scout's daring flight has been worth every beat of her wings. In its lifetime, a bee can travel more than 500 miles on flower runs until its wings eventually wear out. And that is the story, The Flight of the Honeybee.
Hi everybody, Miss Kim here. Today I'm going to make herb art. I think this would be a fun thing to hang in my kitchen. So I'm going to use yellow paper because that's my kitchen color. And I'm going to use lemon balm, which is one of my favorite kitchen-y herbs. It smells so fresh and clean. It smells like something you might clean your kitchen with. And then I also have my most favorite herb of all, lavender. Lavender, so wonderful. It smells just like perfume or soap or something that you would use to smell really, really good. So lemon balm and lavender. I've got some paints here, and I'm going to use my lemon balm and my lavender leaves to paint my picture. So I'm going to pull off a lemon balm leaf. If you look closely at the lemon balm leaf, it has all kinds of different grooves and veins and a different kind of pattern that will look really neat whenever we dip it in paint and then press it onto our paper. So that's what I'm going to do. First, I'm going to do green. I'm going to try to get as much of the leaf as I can soaked in the green paint, and then I'm going to press it onto the paper. And then when I lift it up, it's going to have a really neat little pattern. I'm going to do the same thing with the blue. See if I can make like a turquoise type color. It's so fun to use different kinds of things to paint with because you don't always have a paintbrush on you. And you can get different kinds of patterns from the different kinds of leaves. So next, I'm going to use my lavender. I'm going to use the whole thing like a paintbrush, and I'm going to dip it, or rather roll it, in the purple. I'm going to just kind of let it lay on the paper, rub it on there, and make different kinds of cool lines. This is very abstract kitchen art. Abstract. Abstract means that you're kind of making something with your imagination, and it looks really pretty, and it has a special way of looking, but it doesn't always look just like the thing that you're trying to draw. And that's okay, because I know what it is. So if anybody comes into my kitchen and says, "Ooh, that's so pretty, what is that?" I can say, well, I used rosemary and lemon balm, and I drew it. I painted it just to hang in my kitchen. And it makes pretty designs. And you can look all around your yard and find all kinds of different things to paint with. Different kinds of grass, different herbs. You can use all kinds of neat leaves, different things that are different colors, because that's what art's about. Trying new things and trying to make it special and unique, something that you did. So I'm almost done here. I don't want it to be too much. Just want a little bit. A little bit of green, a little bit of purple, and a little bit of blue. Blue is next. I'm going to use this side of the leaf this time. Just have fun with it. And something you could also do, if you wanted to, is you could just kind of leave your herbs in the picture to dry with the paint. Like, you could just put it on there. And then take your paint and do some paint over it. Make it really neat looking. All right, I think I'm about done. It's looking exactly like I want it to. Very abstract, very awesome. Like a true artiste. See what you can find in your yard at home and get some paint and make one for yourself. Have a great day, everybody. Hi, everybody. Miss Kim here with Plant the Seed. I'm at the Ross Garden in East Nashville on this chilly Nashville day. But as you all know who have had Plant the Seed before, we don't let the weather keep us out of our garden. Today I am making herbal salve. This is going to be a really cool, magical thing that we do in the garden every winter because we like to give salve away to our friends and our family as Christmas presents, or we even like to keep it for ourselves sometimes. So, herbal salve. It is something that we make with beeswax, which looks like this. This is beeswax. Beeswax feels a lot like a candle, but it's made with all natural wax with no harsh chemicals. And then we use herb-infused olive oil, like this. We put some mint in this olive oil about a week ago, and the olive oil's been soaking up all of the beautiful, wonderful scents and properties of the mint. So our olive oil has a special smell to it. We put it in with our beeswax, and it looks kind of like this. This is a double broiler, and I've got it in water so that it can melt the olive oil. And whenever our olive oil gets melted, the herbs will soak into it and the beeswax, and they'll come together when they dry, and we'll put it into this little container, and then we can put it on our lips, or we can put it on dry skin, or we can put it on anything that we want to use to moisturize. Okay, so this is what it looks like. So this is really, really hot. So you will want a grown-up to help you with this. So we have our beeswax, which looks like this, our olive oil, and I put a few drops of this lavender essential oil in so that it smells really good. Okay, I think that it is melted. Now I'm going to pour it in to this little container, and we'll see if it dries. It's pretty chilly out here, so it should probably dry pretty quickly. Turn off our broiler just to be safe. Now if you look at the bottom here, it's turning kind of a whiter color. That means that it's drying just as we watch. And see, we've got the herbs, the dried herbs in the oil so that it makes it look really pretty. And we use the natural oil from these herbs, peppermint and lavender. Lavender makes it smell really good. Peppermint makes it taste really good. And look at this. Oh my goodness. I'm going to turn it upside down. You ready? 1, 2, 3. Isn't that amazing? How quickly it turned from a liquid to a solid. Now we just try it. Ooh, it's a little warm, but it still feels really nice. And you can just put it on your lips. I suggest waiting till it's completely cold just to be safe, but it smells and tastes really good. So have fun making it home whenever you get your take-home kits, kids. Have a great day.
Hi friends, Miss Malia here. Welcome back to our closing circle. So, what did you learn today about herbal salve? Did you get to see how it was made? It's pretty interesting, isn't it? That's really fascinating what we can make out of things from the garden and things from nature and our friends like the bees. So we got to see how the salve was made. We read a beautiful book about the flight of the honeybee. And oh, I can't wait to see a picture of your herb painting. That'll be exciting. So what are some other things that you learned today, friends? Do you remember some of the words that we saw here? Herb, salve, infusion. Got some big words here. Beeswax. When you saw the beeswax, what did that look like? What do you think it might have felt like or smelled like? What fragrance might it have had, if any? What fragrance or smell, aroma, did some of the herbs have? Well, remember our friend the lemon balm here. That one's pretty easy to know, even if you might not be able to smell it right now. So friends, I would love for you to share with us a photo of your herb painting, or share with us something that you learned today, or something that you already know about herbs or herb salve, or something that you've made that's similar. We'd really like to see that. So please let us know and respond to these videos and post that. Let us know what you think. All right, friends, let's do our song and we will say goodbye for this week. Ready with your seeds? Whoop. 1, 2, 3. Plant the little seed in the dark, dark ground. Out comes the yellow sun, big and round. Down comes the cool rain, soft and slow. Up come the little plants, grow, grow, grow. Stay warm.